Yo, what up? It's your boy, Gwydscomix. So, in case you were having a good day, I'm here to ruin it for you. Did you know that there's a finale story to the Rainbow Factory saga called Reborn? Yes. Yes! Now, I want to give a big thank you to my viewers for recommending this. Thanks. Thanks so much. Thank you. Now, I know literally nothing about this story other than it was written on July 10th of 2016 by someone called Sparrow9642. So, huge shout out to Sparrow9642. I will find you. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the review. So, the story opens in a canon afterlife where Scootaloo resides lost in her thoughts of hate and revenge, when suddenly cutting through the darkness comes the sobs of another Rainbow Factory victim who, wait for it, plot twist, and this is a really good one, is the Pegasus who lost her wings in Awoken. Way to tie the stories together, Sparrow. Anyway, wingless bitch is like, yo, want to get revenge on Rainbow Slut, and because Scootaloo's a vengeful whore now, she's like, yes. So D-Winged takes her to Edge Pony, who has somehow, in the afterlife, found a cure for death. Okay, sweet. Death has no weight in this story now. I'll tell you what, I'm feeling the tension. So the one thing that always confused me about this canon afterlife in the story is that it was only her, D-Winged, and Edge Pony, and I was like, yo, what happened to the others? But now I can assume from this that the only reason Scoots, D-Winged, and Edge Pony are the only ones there is because the other victims have left already. Also, why didn't Edge Pony go back? The story clearly states that he's stronger than Scootaloo. And why is D-Winged associated with him, when the story clearly states, like early on, that she's still mad about the wings thing? And why doesn't D-Winged go back? Whatever. Whatever. Scootaloo gets teleported, and that is the word they used, out of the afterlife and onto the roof of the factory. Yes! Yes! Anyway, after observing the roof for a moment, it's revealed that it's not guarded in any way except a code lock on the door, which basically means anyone who knows these codes can just leave. The story then tries to cover this unbelievable plot hole by saying, but they're too broken to do so. But you know, that's not how the world works. If someone really hates doing something and has an easy way out, they'll leave. They'll just leave. Also, apparently this is a new security system, which means it was installed shortly after Edge Pony died. So, like, why didn't he just use that door when he was alive? Anyway, with the intimidation of the factory completely shattered, some Pegasus chick comes out onto the roof and takes drugs. Actually, let me rephrase that. She takes a drug of some kind. Anyway, Scootaloo sneaks through the door and at some point brings up not knowing a person till you know them, in reference to Rainbow Whore. And after this epiphany, she comes to a locked elevator, like I did to your mum last night. Get it? 'Cause comes. What I'm saying is I masturbated to your mum. Anyway, unable to get into the lift because of the new security system, Scootaloo jumps drug burnout on her way back from the roof and forces her to open the elevator, to take her down to the bottom level, like I did with your mum last night, with the goal of getting a full bodysuit to hide her identity. However, midway down, drug burnout asks Scootaloo to kill her because she wants out of the factory. Why didn't she leave when she was on the roof earlier? She could... What? Scoots then says she'll help her to escape, but only if she dumps her weapons. Weapons that would be very helpful in jumping and killing Rainbow Dash tonight, because the factory is closed and everyone's asleep. However, that's off the menu, because she wants to get close to Rainbow Dash first, and then kill her. This is because... Anyway, they arrive on the bottom level and Scootaloo gets her full body suit that used to belong to some worker horse that died that day. I don't care. And then is asked by Drug Burnout a really hard question. What's your name? Now, you might be thinking, why doesn't she just use Scootaloo, her real name? Well, you see, although everyone knows she's been dead for years, it might raise suspicion. So first she tries to pretend she doesn't remember, and when Drug Burnout calls her on her bluff, she picks Scoots because it's close to her old name. Now, you might be thinking, if she wanted to hide her true identity so bad, why did she pick a name close to hers? Yeah, well, keep wondering. Let's move on. So Scootaloo wakes the following morning having spent the night in Drug Burnout's room and thinks about how restless the other workers must be, even though they could just leave. Anyway, Rainbow Slag crackles to life over the speakers and announces someone needs to clean the Pegasus device. She then proceeds to explain how because no one will agree to clean the machine consensually, she'll select someone at random to do it. Man, she must be a pretty shit boss if her workers won't consensually do what she asks them to do. She also says someone needs to fix the storm damage from the previous night and not to get electrocuted. Wow, what a ruthless bitch. Anyway, Scootaloo's number is the one randomly selected, even though the worker she's pretending to be died yesterday. Also, I'm not going into the probability of her selection. I don't think it's way too convenient. Like, way too convenient. I don't think that. Moving on, Drug Burnout cuts her hair for her because it's grown during her time in Canon Afterlife. And Scootaloo is confused because she didn't think hair grew after you died. Anyway, while her hair is being cut, Drug Burnout talks about how she wanted to be a model. I mean, it would work well with your drug addiction. She also talks about how she became a worker by killing someone she didn't like, and Rainbow cum dump seeing it was like, yo, I want you as my worker. I'm sorry, I'm running out of names. Now, at this point in the story, you're probably thinking, so what, Drug Burnout's kind of a bitch? No. You're wrong. She's human. She felt bad after killing the guy. The story really specifies that. And words it about exactly the same. Really interesting backstory aside, Scoots makes her way down to Rainbow Jizz and thinks about some secret passages Drug Burnout showed her. Whatever. We then have this scene where Rainbow Cow notices cut hairs on Scootaloo's shoulder and gets mad, saying she doesn't permit shedding in her workplace, which is like the animal equivalent of getting mad at someone for going to the loo. Anyway, it's supposed to be intimidating, so let's just pretend it is and move on. Scootaloo gets in the machine with a high-pressure hose. Someone closes the door behind her and locks it. The room starts to fill with water from the high-pressure hose, and what am I reading? What the fuck? What is this? So after trying to open the room's door with the high-pressure hose, while underwater, it looks like she's gonna die. It's cool, bro, just respawn. There's even this moment where it makes it sound like she did die, with like collapsing lungs and fading into inky blackness. Anyway, she didn't. Drug Burnout saves her because she was conveniently in the area at the time. Anyway, Rainbow Bimbo shows up and is like, what happened? And when she finds out, she decides to do the most evil thing ever and catch the culprits for messing with her workers. Wow, what a bitch. That's like don't get electrocuted level evil. Anyway, she asks security over the radio and they say they have to go back over the footage because they don't know. So, you know, they can't do their job. What, were they fucking sleeping? So they do see someone, but they can't tell who it is. Cool, this is turning into a whodunit. So Rainbow, apparently pretty nice boss, swears she'll catch them. Aren't you supposed to build tension around your main villain? Like, don't get me wrong, there can be grey villains, but this doesn't feel like a grey villain scenario. No, this feels like the writers relying entirely on the tension built by the previous writers. Add something fucking new. Add a new layer to her. Do like the other writers did. Fucking hell. This pisses me off. Anyway, after this incredible mystery is introduced that lasts a solid chapter, drug burnout takes Scootaloo down to the basement. Not for sex, unfortunately. No, she wants to show Scoots the Spectra tubes that aren't full. Now, the reason for this, the reason they're not full, is because there's not enough failures to keep them topped up anymore. Because apparently, and this is the wording of the story, Pegasi are getting smarter. And because of this, not as many ponies, are failing the flying test. Man, I sure wish the human race could pull off the getting smarter thing as well. Oh well, Drug Burnout believes Rainbow Clit plans to sabotage flying tests in order to keep the Spectra flowing like nectar. Though it's not worded like that because this story's writing is actual shit. Anyway, they hear sounds, hide, and Rainbow Scat enters the room with some worker, whom, although he already knows, she's taken down there to show how low the Spectra has gotten. Anyway, she's mad about it because it's his job to bring her new victims as to keep it topped up. Like I said, he already knew this, but whatever. Rainbow Dash is oh so evil, so of course she makes people reconsume the same information. So after a scene where he begs for her forgiveness, she tases him in the neck, tears off his wings, and then kisses him. Hell yeah. Okay, so she's a rapist now. I take back what I said before. Rape is pretty evil. Then, after he throws up and calls her a bitch, she says she's not going to spare him anymore. I guess that's pretty reasonable. I mean, I'd personally not kill someone if they threw up after kissing me, but I guess it would avoid any future awkwardness, so maybe I am on her side. Anyway, Rainbow Rapist exits with the worker in tow, and shortly afterwards, Drug Burnout and Scoots come out of hiding. We then have this scene where Scoots sees that Rainbow No Consent kept her Spectra as it's displayed on a back wall. It's really cool she didn't notice that when she came in. I mean, what is she, fucking blind? Anyway, they leave, get back to the upper story and see Worker is about to be executed. Then, in an incredible twist, Rainbow Unconsensual Sex Provider reveals to Scoots that he's the one who tried to kill her. Now, you might be wondering why. Well, as the story didn't tell me, I had to figure it out for myself, which, I'm fine with. Storytelling like that's fun. In, anything except this story. So basically, what I could deduct is that Worker locked her in the machine, knowing full well that an old, rickety piece of technology was airtight enough to fill up with water, of which would push her into the blades, turning Scoots into Spectra that would quickly mix with the water and ruin it. Now, I don't know why he didn't think of the water component, but, I'm giving him the I was desperate card, so he's off the hook. Unlike when Scoots kills him in the future. Spoiler. I also love how the story completely brushes over how they found out it was him who did it, when at the beginning of the chapter, it really specified how unidentifiable he was. I also adore how he was somehow found out in the time it took to go down to the basement. What, did he fucking just step forwards? How did that happen? Anyway, Rainbow I Don't Like Consent makes Scootaloo kill him, and she enjoys it, torturing him slowly right to his final breath. By lowering half his body into the Pegasus device, lifting him out, letting the organs fall out, and then putting him all the way in. She then proceeds to look into the audience to see the disappointed face of drug burnout. Now, you might be thinking, who's drug burnout to judge? She literally beat someone to death. But you forget, she felt bad afterwards, remember? Skip ahead 3 years. Hell yeah. I sure love time skips and don't at all think they're overused in media. Not at all. Anyway, it's revealed that Scoots is living up on the top level with the orchestrators, which she is one now, and Rapodash, who's key-locked her room, and Scoots passes it every morning on her way to the lift. We also get a rundown of the atrocities she's committed and how she feels bad about it, even though she reveled in torturing that one guy who crossed her. Anyway, one morning, she steps into the elevator, but before she has a chance to descend, drug burnout shoves her hoof in the door, entering herself, hitting the emergency stop halfway down, and giving Scootaloo a pep talk about how she's disappointed in what she's become. Now, what's phenomenal about this story? What's phenomenal about this storytelling is that at the beginning of the chapter, the story specifies how drug burnout has been avoiding her. So I guess like 3 years later, she's like, yeah, today's the day. Today's the day I lecture Scootaloo about killing that guy. Anyway, after doing that, we get this incredible plot twist where it's revealed that the guy she killed wasn't the one who attempted her life. What? What did I do all that detective work for then? Nothing? Fuck you! Fuck you! Sorry about that. Apologies. So after hearing this and drug burnout has left, she feels guilty, throws up in a toilet out of shame for that one guy she killed. Who cares about the other ones? The other are like 132, the story specified. That one guy. Then there's this scene where she's watching the vomit taste out of her mouth, and she looks in the mirror and sees Rainbow Dash instead of her staring back, which is really subtle storytelling. She then hears, and this is where we get the worker's name, you know, the one she murdered, Orion screams. Also, really subtle storytelling. Do you reckon she's feeling guilty? I reckon she's feeling guilty. So after this subtlety cocktail ends, she and drug burnout are called to a meeting along with the other orchestrators. So after they're all seated in their meeting room, Rainbow Consent, who needs it, enters and talks about her latest plan to get more Spectra. Oh, I forgot to add, remember that plan they had to make Pegasi fail the flying test? Well, that went ahead. Anyway, that's it. It's completely dropped from the story from now on, so let's go. Let's move on. With all of them there, Rainbow Yuck Consent brings up her next big Spectra plan, which is to take it from every pony in the entire world. Yep, to make rainbows. Oh, also, there's some other thing about tripling security that goes nowhere. Oh, and something about if they lose their new security badge card thing, they need to drink dirty Spectra. I mean, what kind of fucking shit show is she running up there? Yo, welcome to my YouTube video. In this video, I make my orchestrators drink dirty Spectra. Go down and smash that subscribe. YouTube unsubscribes you. Wait, drug burnout stands up to Rainbow What Even Is Consent and says, yo, I don't like the plan to kill everyone to make rainbows. And all the other orchestrators stand with her, except Scootaloo. They then try to take down Rainbow Consent, not on my watch, but are stunned by an electric force field around her. Okay, sure. Rainbow Consent ? Then knocks out drug burnout with a punch and has Scootaloo finish off the others before taking them all to the Pegasus device, where, with an audience onlooking, she has Scootaloo put them all in the machine, asking specifically for her to kill drug burnout, how she killed, Oreo, was it? I don't know, that worker that she killed. Scoots can't do it though, so she kills drug burnout quickly. What a hero. I love her. Then when Rainbow Consent, not in my Equestria, comes in to tell her off, Scootaloo punches her through the glass that was apparently there, which turns her good again. What? OG Dash then explains how she's not actually evil and is just forced to take medication that turns her evil. Wow. This medication of which is forced on her by the factory's real creators. It's then at this point that the story decides to reveal that the drug Burnout was taking was the drug Rainbow I forced myself on people in a sexually aggressive manner was taking. Which makes no sense because drug Burnout was a good guy, wasn't she? I mean, wow. This is the best story I've ever read. Hell yeah. She then tells Scoots to kill her because she can feel Rapey Dash taking over again. What the fuck? What kind of fucking story is this? What am I reading? What the fuck is this? So with Rapist Dash dead, Scootaloo takes over, informing the staff that she's going to destroy the factory, which no one believes, until she shoves some railings into the Pegasus device, which somehow will blow it up in 10 minutes. I don't know, did I miss something? Then, as everyone was panicking and running to the doors, she decides, yo, time to go check out the Rainbow Rapes room. Why would you do that, you whore? Anyway, she flies up there and then opens the key-locked door with something Dash always used to say to her. Clearly referencing that good Rainbow Dash was always in there. What was that saying that, Dash always used to say to her? I don't know. Story never told me. Anyway, the room's a torture chamber with like an Iron Maiden and shit, and also a glowing cabinet that has the evil drugs in it. Why was the cabinet glowing? I want to die. Anyway, from the darkness, an evil pony emerges. Why was he there? Is it lengthways or horizontal? So Evil Pony reveals he's an associate with, I'm guessing, the original creators of the factory. And he's the one who tried to kill her because he knew she'd come back to life and what her plans were. Whatever. Then he reveals that she did indeed drown in the Pegasus device, showing footage of her body being found. What? What the fuck is happening? What's happening? I originally thought that she was like a ghost, but that doesn't make sense because she was fucking rescued. Did she jump did she jump realities? What the fuck is happening? It's not answered, I'm just sitting here in the dark. Anyway, he wants her as the new evil factory leader and has someone so lovingly referred to as Captor grab her and drag her out the room. Anyway, they're taking her deeper into the bowels of the factory when someone slits Captor's neck and he falls over the railings that were apparently there and dies after falling 40 floors or something. I don't know. Now, who slit the neck? Man, I'd love to know that too. But apparently they were invisible, or not there at all, or a ghost, because Associate doesn't know what happened, and neither do I. There's literally no one there. Do they explain this? No. Why? Why would they? Sorry about that. Anyway, she pounces on Associate, beating his head into the ground, then tasing him in the mouth, which turns his head to ash. Of course it does. Why wouldn't it turn his head to ash? Finally, she runs to the exit to escape with the others, but can't leave for some reason. She has the inability to leave. There's a force field or something, and ponies are trying to pull her out and she doesn't go. She's stuck in the factory. Now, is this explained? No! No, it's not fucking explained! What the fuck? Anyway, she goes back into the factory because she can't leave and lies down next to Rainbow Dash's body, which is kind of cute, I'm not gonna lie, and dies in the explosion. Then, as one final fuck you, her and all the others from the previous stories ascends to canon heaven. What the fuck? What was that? What the fuck was that? I'm done. I'm fucking done. I'm done. I'm so fucking done. I'm going back to the water. Fuck this story. I'm gone. Bye. Hi, I'm Mark Chester, brother of internet personality Gwydscomix. I intend, for the sake of this channel, to bring my brother back. Humans have always had a fascination in mythological creatures, From an ancient living in a Scottish loch to creatures said to roam the forests of North America. They've always kind of been there, and are mostly believed to be things of fiction, something people talk about around the campfire on a cold night when they're feeling chatty. However, in West Australia, it is common knowledge that a person does indeed live in those waters, surviving off fish and seaweed, and only straying from the water mass to find fresh water from streams and lakes that seem to litter the area. And while the concept of this may seem terrifying, the story of how he came to be there is even more so. Many years ago, though not too many, there lived a boy who went under the internet alias of Gwydscomix. He was a cartoonist, and he was known, though not a lot, for reviewing online creepypastas mostly written by the Brony community. A fan base for My Little Pony Friendship is Magic that most people agree peaked in 2015. According to legend, these stories were quite renowned for being absolutely terrible, or at least in his eyes. But he trooped on until he came into contact with a trilogy so terrible that it broke his mind and his soul, this being the Rainbow Factory trilogy. Eventually, after having his fanbase watch the slow decline of his mind, he officially snapped with the completion of his review of the final in the trilogy, Reborn, and filmed his return to the waters, disturbing footage that still exists on the internet today, leaving behind his twin brother Mark and a distraught mother.
Well, I was just in my room. I was just sitting, checking some emails, and suddenly I heard this crash of the door opening and this like stampede running down the stairs. And then the front door slammed as well. And I was like, anyway, just a few minutes later, another door opened. Not with quite such a big slam, but again, thundering stairs, down the stairs, out the front door. And yeah, then nothing. Just had no idea what was going on. Just wandering around going, where is everyone? What's happened? You know? And I didn't know who run out first. I didn't know what had gone on. So anyway, then Mark told me that Gwyd had just disappeared into the inlet. So, yeah, it was just devastating. It was really hard to know what to make of it.
I was listening to music at the time, and I managed to hear this blood-curdling scream through my noise-cancelling headphones. And I just knew something was wrong. The next thing I heard was the crash of this very door being slammed open. So once I finished the song, I ran out my door. No, there was only 5 minutes left on it. This is my brother, okay? This is my documentary. No one even likes you, okay? Know your place. Anyway, so I ran out the door at top speed just in time to see him running down the road at just top speed. So he reaches the inlet water and he catapults himself basically off the front of our jetty into the water and just swims away. I've never seen anything like it in my whole life. Since the incident all those years ago, Mark is commonly found in his brother's room, rummaging through his old collections and reminiscing of their good times together. I still come into my brother's room from time to time to, kind of reminisce of the good times together, so to speak. Always such a collector, that boy. Can't believe he was a virgin. He is convinced that if he saw Gwyd again, he could bring him back to modern society without much effort, and is often seen down by the inlet checking areas of recent sightings and calling his name out across the water. So this is the last place they sighted my brother, along this shoreline. And I intend to find him. So at this point I've been hunting 3 hours for my brother, and I still see nothing. I'm starting to lose hope. Whoa. Is that you, brother? But what is this? A sighting? Will he be able to convince him to return? Or will all these years' effort be in vain? Gwyd. It's me. It's Mark. It's your brother, Mark. Do you remember me? It's been so long. Please remember who you are. Please come back to us. Every day I miss you. Every day. Come on. You have to remember. No, I will not lose you again. I had a lot of time to think while I was living in the inlet, and I think I've come up with a satisfactory answer to just what happened in this story. From what I could deduct, I believe those who die in this factory with unfinished business get stuck there. Their souls trapped in a kind of limbo. They could easily return to life because they never really moved on. This is why Scootaloo couldn't leave, and one of those spirits are what took down her captor. Naturally, when the factory burned, those doomed to this lonely fate were finally free to move on, their unfinished business up in flames, peace. After all these years. Of course, that doesn't explain how Scootaloo was rescued but still drowned, or even who the higher-ups running the factory from the background were. I guess they just got away with it. Also, why wasn't drug burnout evil? Why was the factory so easy to escape? And the rape subplot that went nowhere? Or even... Look, I'm getting mad again. At least I know why Rainbow Dash kept Scootaloo's Spectra. Anyway, in conclusion, Trixie's Funhouse is still my favourite of these stories, but because this story is as awful as it is, it sits at a strong 2. Read or listen to it. It's a pretty good time. Hey, hello, Gwydscomix here, and I'm sick of talking to you through borderline porn, so hold on a second. I just wanted to say a thank you, just a quick thank you to everyone for watching this video. I'm like super proud of it, and it also marks the ending of the Rainbow Factory trilogy series that I've been making, and concluded that story that I've had running for about 2 years now, back in when I started it in my first Rainbow Factory video. That video, I hope you enjoyed that documentary, that mockumentary. I'm super happy with how that turned out. I made that when I was 21. I'm 23 now. It's not really that big of a thing. I was like just about to turn 22 when I made it, and I kind of... And so it's only been like a year since hang on, am I 24 now? No, I'm 23, sorry. I don't really care about my age. But no, anyway, thank you for watching that. That was really fun. I really enjoyed making that video, and I really enjoyed making this whole video. Really, I've got nothing much else to say, so just thank you. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, there's links to everything in the description below. Bye. Bye. See ya.